Reel Doofs. I'm Drew.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Laura.
And this is our cute little movie podcast that we do. Our pop culture.
So cute.
Yeah, I know, right? I always try to spice things up to throw Brian off, but it never does, and it just throws me off in general. Where was I? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, this is our pop culture movie podcast that we have that's been going strong for quite a while now. We're like we've passed the 4-year mark.
Oh wow!
At this point, yeah, like can you believe that? Like 2019, this thing started, and it's been somehow still going.
I thought you were gonna say 29 years, and I was like,
no,
damn, that long already?
Yeah.
Is Brian even that old?
Right? Isn't it? Are you turning 30 this year, Brian?
No, I turned 30 in April.
You
turning
turned
31
30.
next year.
How did I miss this?
Because I'm
30.
very quiet about my birthdays.
Okay, that's well, that's wonderful, and that's a big milestone for you. Good job, bud.
Thanks.
You're as old as Jurassic Park. That's amazing. But yeah, everyone, I'm sure, some people jump in on pick their favorite episodes or movies and jump in, and this might be your first time listening. Brian, Laura, and myself, we watch movies that are important to pop culture that one or two or all of us have missed somehow in our lives, and we make some crazy guesses and try to figure out what it is based on what we know strictly from pop culture, from just the title, from whatever we can guess. Then we'll watch that crazy ass movie. So this year alone, though, we've been doing this kind of themed months. Every month is a certain theme, and September, we're sticking with it, is back to school, because it's where all those kiddies are going. So we've picked movies this month that aren't necessarily about the school itself, but the school is a prominent location. School is a prominent location where these movies take place. And our fans have been voting for them. So we have a special one this week. It's actually something that was on our classics list that we should have been watching. It's been on the list before, and it got the votes, which is great. But before we dive in, I feel like I haven't talked to the both of you in a little bit. How are you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing good. I'm on the Starfield train. I'm playing the new video game Starfield, and it's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's a Bethesda game. So for those of our listeners who play video games, they'll probably know that Bethesda's the group that did Skyrim. You've probably played. I think you've played Skyrim. It's been out for 10 years or something like that. And then they've done the Fallout games and stuff like that. This is their first new thing. It's always a fun story, but they just put out such a bad product every time. The game will just freeze and glitch, and I really always enjoy Skyrim has been out for 10 years and it's not a finished game. It shouldn't have been released yet. So it's it's been fun. That's what I've been doing this week.
Nice.
I'm ready for spooky season. And
we're almost there.
Scary movies coming out. Drew, did you see the preview for a new Goosebumps show that has Justin Long in it?
I saw the trailer.
You saw it, Brian? Yeah.
I did not see the trailer. I've seen the posters. And
it looks really good, actually.
As soon as I saw Justin Long's face, I literally was like, so Laura's watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it looks good. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I think that, it comes out in a few weeks, right? October or something.
Yeah.
Nice. I am also ready for spooky season. I hope Brian is ready for spooky season. We've got October coming up, so we've got spooky movies to watch. And Brian, Laura, and I have already discussed our plan, our thought process.
Okay.
So we're just going to take you along for the ride.
Brian's we did?
He's didn't we do something already?
Yeah, I thought we already did it.
We did.
I don't know. I do think that you'll have to up your game. I was talking to someone. I do think that you've desensitized me a little bit to horror movies. I was talking to someone who was like, I just got into horror movies and I'm loving it. And I was like, oh, neat. I am not loving it, but I have seen some recently. And so we got to bond over talking about like Hereditary and like
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the name of The Conjuring. And I was like, spooky Connecticut, haunts a house. And they were like, oh, like those Conjuring. I was like, The Conjuring, actually, literally that one.
I wish they were like Haunting in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't think it was that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what Laura and I have planned, I think we've got something classic and we've got something modern planned for you. So
okay.
We're gonna take
on top of the one that we've already recorded.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've already decided that it wasn't enough.
And I still vote we got to watch one in your backyard in the dark.
I will not put you through that, Brian. My one will be a virtual visit, like we have been doing. But Laura's, I agree, is a outdoor. That's our goal. So
okay.
We're already telling you you're hosting us.
Yeah. No, I think that will be fun. Yeah.
Perfect. So good. It sounds like we're all having a good time. I am just whenever this comes out, I'm sure what currently I'm watching is going to be done with, but I'm watching Ahsoka, the Star Wars show.
Nice.
And I'm loving every second of it. I really am getting this last episode, which was the 5th episode, was really good. Yeah, it was just really, really good. So,
I'm a week behind, so we'll have to talk later.
Yes. Yeah, we will. And by the time this comes out, hopefully we'll have talked about all of them. But let's, there's a lot we can talk about spooky season and all that, but we should talk about what we're going to be watching today. And it's an exciting one. We are going to be watching a classic, a 1982 classic. And it is Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Oh. So Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Amy Heckerling directed this, and she has directed a few episodes of The American Office, but she's really actually famous for some of her 90s and 80s classics. Clueless, Amy Heckerling did. Oh. Look Who's Talking 1 and 2, which, Brian, the concept of Look Who's Talking is John Travolta and I feel bad, I can't remember who the woman who plays the mother, but it's about Bruce Willis is the actual fetus and baby that comes out, and it has an internal thought that is Bruce Willis. Like, so it's not Boss Bruce, Baby? It's not Bruce Willis, but it's just like, hey, I'm in a womb right now. What's going on?
He's like the voice of the baby. Like the baby isn't animatronic or anything. No, right.
It's just a baby with an actual internal dialogue that is voiced by Bruce Willis. Wild concept.
It's a great movie. Kirstie Alley.
Yeah. It's a fun movie. Great might be pushing it, but I will say that definitely made me laugh when I saw it. Maybe I need a rewatch on Look Who's Talking. But
and the second one, the voice of the second Roseanne, baby is right? Roseanne.
Yeah, Roseanne Barr. So he's like, "Hey, I'm the boss here," and she's like, "Not on my dead body." And you're like, "Oh my god," it's wild. But yeah, John Travolta and Kirstie Alley are the mother. Brian's face to this is incredible.
I'm watching the trailer on like, silent, and it keeps cutting to clips of the baby in the womb, and it looks like a scene from Alien. It's got like a little hand.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yep.
Oh boy.
But she also did National Lampoon's European Vacation, and this was written by Cameron Crowe. And do you remember what recent Doofs movie we watched that Cameron Crowe wrote and directed?
No,
I know. I remember the name, but I can't remember.
You both really liked this movie. It was called Almost Famous.
Oh, okay.
So during that movie, I gave you some info about Cameron Crowe that he went undercover to a high school for, I don't know if it was a year or for how long, but for a bit of time. He was 22 and he looked like he was 18, which kind of the joke to Almost Famous. Everyone knew he was a kid, because that's also loosely based on his life touring with bands. But he wrote a book about his experience undercover and what kids were up to in high school in the year that he did that. So this is his first time writing a script, and he did it based after his book. So definitely wild. It's wild in general. What do you, or I should say, where/when do you think this movie is going to take place?
1980.
Yeah, I was going to say the
like
present day. Yeah.
Okay.
And definitely in a high school.
Mm.
But so you're saying that he's like an older kid going back to school. This is based on the book that he wrote?
Yes.
Okay.
However, the book is not about him being undercover. He's telling a story about what kids are up to. So it's not really, the narrative isn't, I'm a spy. It's not Never Been Kissed.
Gotcha.
Like
it's not 21 Jump Street.
It's not,
or
yeah,
exactly. Yeah. That's the narrative is not about someone infiltrating a high school.
Just like what's going on in high school at that time.
Yes. And, and then they put a threaded a narrative to his book to make it have a story flow to it.
Got it.
Okay. All right. So we said where and when. We said it's a high school. It's in the present day, so 80s-ish. Any idea like what coast we're on?
West Coast.
That's what I was going to say too.
Feels like a West Coast town.
Sounds like
suburb.
Okay.
Yeah, I picture a lot of that surfer. Vocal surfer. Fry kind of talking, long hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very Pasadena.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So surfer, long hairs.
Long hairs. Yeah, like what were the catchphrases that were popular at the time? I keep having 90s things pop into my head, like tubular, but that's definitely 90s.
You never know. You might get there.
Tubular pops up in
Well, let me just jump to something I was going to ask down the line, so you can kind of get this. There's a famous line in this movie. It's awesome, totally blank. What? Fill in that blank for me.
Rad.
I was going to say rad.
Really?
Okay.
We're on the same wavelength again.
I'm going to throw in a bitchin' just in case.
Oh, I like that too. That's a good one.
Bitchin'. Nice. That is a good one. All right, sweet. Let me just get back up to where I was on this. Who is in this movie? Any idea of any cast member in this movie?
No.
I only know one, but since I knew we were watching this movie, I cannot think of his name, and I didn't want to look anything up.
Fair.
So I could picture him in my head. It's like the cover of the movie.
Yes.
With the long hair.
Yes.
And I know that it's somebody that I would never really think to place in a movie like this.
Yes. The actor, I'm not going to say
very
who
vague.
it is. The actor is very famous, but he also is predominantly known for his dramatic offerings.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And also his activism in real life as well.
It's been driving me nuts. I know as soon as I know the name.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
You will definitely know. Okay, so both of you, so Laura, we're just going to
But that's all I know. Yeah, I have no idea about anybody else in the movie. I was telling Drew before we were recording that I kept getting this movie confused with, now I can't even remember the name of the movie that I told you.
I know. I'm like, now I'm trying to think of that
with
one.
Matthew McConaughey is what the
Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused. So I do think it's going to be similar vibes.
Okay, that's exactly where we're at right now. What do we think it's about? So you're going to say similar vibes.
A lot of weed, a lot of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Partying in the woods or something. Maybe not so much in the woods because that's Dazed and Confused. Yeah, cars.
Yep, okay. Drugs. Partying.
I'm trying to think what the storyline would be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be as like I don't. If you look at like Dazed and Confused, Confused is its senior year, and these group of people are facing what's next, and they're getting that final party in. Do you think it's going to play? Is it going to be the beginning of the year? Is it going to be the end of the year? Where do we start with this movie?
I think it's the end of the year.
Okay.
And I think Fast Times is the school paper.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High is the school paper, and the
wow, that's good. Okay.
Some of the kids, I think that this is the direction that Cameron went in. Some of the kids are writing some pieces on like what other groups of kids have been up to, but these kids are like the nerdy, like editors of the paper, so they haven't experienced everything in their time at the high school that other groups of kids have, so they're trying to like write about it, but they don't know it, so now they're trying to like in the last month of school or whatever try to like rip through experiences that they like wouldn't have had this entire time that they realized when they started writing this project or something. So it's like, oh, we got to go to this like keg party with the jocks, and then we go to this rock show with the music kids or whatever. Like they keep trying to like make their way to all the different cliques and like experience something so that way they can write about it.
Sweet.
I like that.
All right.
And they only have a month, so they're going real fast, and that's also the fast part.
I have a different thought. It's another reason for Fast Times. Now I think maybe the school is on the East Coast, but the main character moves from the West Coast, and he's like this very surfer, smoking weed kind of like chill guy, and he's now with all these like uptight kids, and he shows them how to party, but like getting into trouble along the way kind of thing. They all think he's like super weird, but then they realize, oh, he's pretty cool.
He brings weed to the East Coast.
Yeah. It was California reefer.
So there's a specific character. I want you to tell me who he is in this story. Who is Jeff Spicoli? Have you ever heard anyone say Spicoli or reference a Spicoli?
No.
Okay. Who is Jeff Spicoli?
If you didn't say a first name, I would think a principal. But since you said a first name, I don't think it's a principal.
Okay. So if I was like, who's Mr. Spicoli?
Yeah, then
like principal.
Principal
sure. Or teacher or something.
Who is Jeff Spicoli?
The head editor of the Fast Times.
I love that.
I think he's like the senior like football captain or something. He kind of is like the one that tells everyone what's cool and what to do.
Yeah. I'm Jeff Spicoli.
Yeah.
I'm footballing here.
Yeah. And then they're walking down the hall and they're like, hey, Spicoli, what's up?
Yeah, right? Nice. All right. This movie actually has a huge cast of characters of people you have definitely seen in movies before. If you don't know them direct by name, you'll definitely at least know the one of the main characters, the one that Laura was really struggling trying to remember.
It's still driving me nuts.
But Brian, you will notice she's very young, but you'll notice a character from a Quentin Tarantino movie. There is two main characters in this movie are actually two main characters in another movie that we watched together. There are so many random people, but there is one person who is arguably the strangest person you would not expect in this movie. And it's not our main character or our main character that Laura can't figure out. There's one person in this movie that you are going to be like, wait, is that?
The male or female?
I'll give you that, male.
I'm still so shocked that I don't know more about this movie the more we're talking about. I thought something would come to me. I have nothing.
Listen, I'm going to tell you there is going to be definitely one scene in this movie that I would be shocked if the both of you have not seen parodied in pop culture over the last 40 years because it has been done so many times.
I'm going to say Johnny Depp.
Oh, I like that. Okay. He would be young enough, right? Because he was in Nightmare on Elm Street around this time too. That works. Okay, so Johnny Depp. Okay, Brian, any guesses?
Daniel DeVito.
I'm sorry, who?
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah. But he called him Daniel.
Okay.
Daniel DeVito.
I mean, he was around acting definitely at this time. Is that your guess, Danny DeVito?
Yeah. I'm gonna guess Danny DeVito.
Okay. Okay.
He's the principal.
Oh God.
Oh, that would be great.
All right. Just like how the movie E.T. made Reese's Pieces famous with product placement because M&Ms would not allow Steven Spielberg to use M&Ms. He ended up using Reese's Pieces, and it was the first time they were ever featured in a movie, and it put them on the map. This movie put another unknown brand on the map. Now, I will tell you, it is not a food brand. It is something that you have probably owned. I don't want to specify anymore because you would probably think about that. But give me a random
I
brand.
have owned, not consumed.
Correct. Non-food.
Oh. Random
owned
brand.
like back in the day, or something like you could still own now?
You
like,
absolutely could still own now because they are very still on the map, and they are a popular item for a group of individuals, but also as a fashion statement as well.
Oh, a fashion statement.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a statement, but I might be overselling this a bit.
Okay.
But
I don't know why the first thing that came to my mind was Trapper Keepers, but I don't know if those were around in the early 80s.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then you said fashion statement. So
I mean, those rainbow Trapper Keepers, man, they were like hot colors everywhere.
And something like we both could have owned, Brian and I.
Yep.
Huh.
I mean, Brian's a little more posh, so I don't know if he would have had it or not. But Laura, like, you at least know people this is their preferred brand, I would think.
So I'm guessing clothing.
I definitely had some.
I'm like, what was in the early 80s that was Adidas around? That seems too early.
Oh, that's a really good guess. I'm going to be honest. I'm not even joking around. That is a very good guess.
Yeah. Okay, so we're getting closer.
Are you going with Adidas or no?
Like, that's all I can think of. Or maybe like Nikes. I don't know. Converse. That's where I'm going. Converse.
I like that one too.
Some high tops, some all stars, and those are relatively inexpensive sneakers.
Yeah.
So, all stars are a very good guess.
So, Brian, are you also going with the Converse, or do you have a different guess?
I don't.
It sounds like you're going with shoes, at least, Laura. You're going shoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like sneakers make sense. I was trying to think of like shirts or something. Like, there's a lot of brands that like are cheaper, that were cheaper brands, but have like become popular. Like Columbia was like a Walmart brand when I was growing up, and now it's something that like everyone wears.
Yeah.
No, I'll go in on All Stars. I like that.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. I have one final question for you. It's a weird question. I'm going to just put it in a weird way, because if I give you too much, then it might give too much away. But I mentioned there's a scene in this movie that you probably both have seen parodied. It is a very famous scene at a pool. The pool scene has been parodied in many things, from The Man Show, Family Guy, even Stranger Things. Didn't quite parody it, but they reversed it a little bit.
Yeah. So
what happens in this scene, and do we get to finish the scene? Do we get to finish? That it's a very open-ended question.
Uh-huh.
I think I know what you're talking about, and I think I know why Brian's giggling. I'll let you go first,
because
Brian.
I'm 12.
I thought the same thing. So.
I think I am thinking of the Stranger Things scene. I think that there's like an attractive like woman who shows up to the pool, and there's these two like teen boys who are like ogling. I like don't know the rest of the scene though. I don't know what you're getting at, because they're not like.
Well, maybe they're playing cards. Maybe they get interrupted.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you any more into it, but just Brian, do we finish?
No, they don't.
Okay.
No
finishing.
I feel like someone jumps in the pool or something.
Splashes them or something.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the one where they're like getting out of the pool.
Who's getting out of the pool?
Like whoever the hot chick is.
Hot chick. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hot chick.
There's a nicer way to put that.
That's fine.
Way to objectify women, Laura.
I'm a woman. It's okay.
Okay. And Laura, do we get to finish?
No.
No. Also, no finishing.
No.
Whatever we're doing.
No.
Okay. Fantastic. I love it. Thank you so much. Are there any final thoughts of anything you want to throw in here for guesses or things we'll see that will happen in this movie?
We'll hear someone say the word bogus.
I like that.
Okay.
I also picture those, what are those like pullover, really like woven big hoodie things that have like the two little.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know a way to describe them.
Yeah.
They're almost made out of like hemp or something.
Yeah.
Hemp,
Let's just call them woven hemp hoodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We will know what we're talking about when we see it.
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
I don't think we'll see any drug paraphernalia. It will only be references to drug.
Okay, so drugs are implied.
Yeah, drugs are kind of the Jaws of the movie. You hint at it, but you don't really you don't get to see
what
it.
Is this movie
You're
rated?
not going to see a bong, you know?
Rated R. It's rated R, yes.
Then
I still don't think you're going to see a bong.
I say we will.
Okay.
At least some like joints or something.
I could see a joint.
If it's not about weed, then I really have no idea what this movie's about.
It's a dark movie about the heroin underworld. No. Okay. All right. I love it.
I think we're going to get a panning shot, like a zoom in on the high school. And you're going to see someone like go by on a skateboard and go on a bike.
Yes.
And like someone crash into each other. Like the front lawn of a high school where all the kids are coming in and out. But like there's a group of kids playing with like a hacky sack and like that like chaotic pan into the school sort of shot. I think we're going to get at least one of those.
Yeah, like when they're all getting off of the bus.
Yeah.
Like start of the day, and then it goes to their lockers.
Yeah.
Someone gets shoved into a locker.
Oh, I love that. Let's put that there.
Oh, someone's getting their head in the toilet.
I was like, what's that called?
Flurry?
Swirly.
Swirly. Flurry.
That's a McDonald's product, I think, right? McFlurry.
They got a McFlurry.
Perfect.
What is it called? What did you say? A swirly?
A swirly.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Swirly.
At least in my day, it was called a swirly.
When you were a bully, when you were a school bully.
I think I just haven't heard it in so long it didn't sound right. But I think that's what it is.
The karma of how many people's heads and hair got wet from me. Now I have none left. So
what's the other thing?
Let it be known for the record, I was a very sweet young boy and I was friends with everyone. I never bullied anyone.
What was the other thing where they would like glue guys like butts to the toilet seats? What was another prank that people pulled? You are both looking at me like I am.
No, where did you grow up?
Not in my high school, but like in a movie or something.
Yeah, it didn't happen in my high school either.
I feel like I've seen it in a movie.
Ass cheeks closed? What?
Yeah, no, like they would put it on the toilet seat and then they'd sit on the toilet seat and then they wouldn't.
No idea. No idea.
I feel like glue dries too fast.
You know, I think that's probably why a lot of people...
no, they forced them on. It wasn't like...
okay. Yeah. It wasn't like they just sat... You know what? Yeah. That trauma is probably why a lot of people nowadays... and listen, you might not believe me when I say this, but a lot of people apparently just bring paper towels into the toilets and just try to clean the toilet seats and then just flush those paper towels. So
a lot of trauma from bathrooms in high school.
That's got to be what... That has to be why, right?
For sure.
All right. Well, we have some amazing guesses. I'm I'm really excited because you're gonna be like, you got some good stuff and some way out there stuff, so this should be fun.
It's just one thing.
Yeah.
As I'm sitting here, so I live in an apartment complex and it's a nice night out, so I have all my windows open. I'm like, I could only imagine if one of my neighbors was outside and can hear this one-sided conversation that I'm having about swirlies and gluing people's ass cheeks to toilets.
Yeah, no, I don't think we get to finish.
There's a hot chick and they didn't get to finish.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
I might go shut my windows on it.
You definitely should for what we're about to watch. All right, y'all. Let's do it. Let's totally bitchin'.
Gnarly.
He's in high school. He looks like he's fucking 30.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he looks the same age as he does in the Santa Claus.
Yes, he does.
Which is like 40, and that movie comes out like 10 years later.
Yeah. Vans shoes?
Yes.
Oh, we were so close.
Vans shoes. This joke about them sniffing the paper back in 1982, Xerox machines were kind of starting to just get popular. So printed paper the ink had like a scent to it that there was a rumor it would get you high if you smelled it, but it never actually did.
Yeah, I can't imagine the amount printed on one piece of paper.
Yeah.
Drew's like, I sniffed a lot of paper and did nothing.
It did nothing.
This is one of those movies where I have to Google every actor. I'm like, I think I know them. Oh, I just spoiled who we're going to see. Shit.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
They're in like an alley, right?
They're in a dugout.
I missed where they went. Oh, in a baseball field?
Yeah, in a baseball dugout, yeah.
That's the other thing. You would never be able to sneak in anywhere now. Everywhere has security cameras. Yeah. Like, we used to go the most random places when I was in high school. Imagine being able to pay off a car working at a burger joint part-time in high school.
Yeah.
Comes down to making out. Whenever possible. Put on side 1 of Led Zeppelin 4.
Why is he going to be making out while driving?
Right. Let's get her in the mood. Such a large house number.
Yeah, right?
I was just thinking the same thing.
So
it's
many
the longest fucking street ever. I just assume that's how street numbers work.
You're right.
You start at 1.
You're not wrong.
I made a complete jerk out of myself is what I did. Stace, what do you care about Mark Ratner for? I mean, he's a 16-year-old usher in the movie theater. You have dated older guys. You work at the best food stand in the mall. And you are a close personal friend of mine.
So much going for you.
I know.
Yeah. But I was really beginning to like him.
After our one date.
Yeah.
He did eat a lot of knockwurst.
It's true. It's true.
If there's anything I love in a guy, it's someone who wants to make out to Kashmir by Led Zeppelin and just force me to drink 8 Cokes.
Put down a lot of knockwurst. He's wearing one of those.
Yes,
oh, yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
With a turtleneck. It's such a weird combo.
Like, is he from the East Coast?
I was thinking about that. He's got like a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
I think it's just a very stereotypical, like, he's the...
he's the guy
like
who
the
gets
bookie.
things done.
Yeah. Times are so different. If someone did that to me now, I'd, like, make sure they weren't following me.
Yeah.
Get
Especially
away from
if
me.
they were wearing a Captain Hook costume.
A pirate's hat.
People who owe me
He
expenses.
had to write that down.
Abortion and Rod Stewart.
It's like a pro-con list, you know?
No fucking hospital's letting a goddamn high school teacher
No.
pull parts off of a dead body in front of a class of kids.
Not even in the 80s.
Yeah. We got a gnarly.
We got a gnarly, yeah. I did dissect a frog. Do they still do that?
I don't know if they still do.
I think I did that in like middle school and high school.
Yeah, I think high school I definitely did.
I did do a shark. Like a little
A shark?
A shark.
That's cool.
Yeah, like a little baby shark.
Weren't you homeschooled? You did this at home?
No, we took like a class somewhere, but it was like a marine biology class. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
That's cool. I like stuff like that. I had always said that I like wanted to donate my body to like medical, like whatever. But then apparently there's a lot of shady stuff that happens with that. Where
are you talking about like you're an organ donor, or you want to donate your body?
Like when I die, like I would donate it to like medical science for research or whatever.
Yeah.
But apparently I've listened to a couple podcasts about it where you think your body is going is probably not where it's going to end up, and you like never really know what's going to actually happen with your body.
Wild.
So I was like a lot of those body exhibits bodies were not people that donated their body. They were kind of just like sold or found or
Hey, bong.
Oh, there we go.
He's like, am I so high that this is actually happening right now?
I feel like if I got that high, I'd be so fucking down for that. Hell yeah.
Like just
Let's
talk
read a
about
history
some random
book.
history topic.
Fuck yeah.
Tell me everything you know about this topic, and I'll just listen.
Yeah. How big was Andrew Jackson's big wheel of cheese? Fuck yeah. History.
There's a thing going on around TikTok right now where people are asking the men in their life, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? I will ask both of you. How often do you think about the Roman Empire?
Multiple times a month.
Multiple times a day. No, like a couple times a day.
In all honesty?
I don't think it's multiple times a day for me. Since that meme, exponentially up. Do you pull out a katana?
But like before.
Before,
like what,
I think
multiple times a month?
Multiple times a month, at least. But I am
blown away. I think you guys are all pranking us.
I
like
am a
that
fan
can't
of
be true.
history and a fan of like weird facts. So a lot of my feed is pushing me like, did you know this thing? And the Roman like Republic and Empire spanned a long period of time.
Here we go.
And they did a lot of things.
God
so
damn
statistically, I'm going to get pushed more facts about the Roman Empire.
Would you think about it on your own? Still probably
all the time,
yes.
Because you're like, just the other day I was just like, just thinking about the roads that were built.
Oh my
the roads.
God.
To be fair, Laura, I literally saw this today for the first time. This
but
thing about it.
That,
so,
did
no,
you
I
actually
just
think
never. No, well, not never, but like not often. But as soon as you started talking about it,
so you're messing with me, but Brian is
yes,
not.
Yeah.
Brian's being serious.
No, like I don't specifically think about the Roman Empire often, but yeah, no, now and then, sure.
That's wild.
But really, like to think about the roads that they like built and how they connected Europe.
They invented concrete.
It's fucking insane.
They invented a type of concrete that we can't even replicate today.
They actually found some of that. They found concrete like that in Oak Island. Can I just tell you, dude? They did.
Should we pause the movie?
No, it's almost done.
Oh my God.
It's at the end.
I really thought like the internet was like trying to prank women, but Brian just proved me correct or proved me wrong that nope, you truly do. They're trying to be like, well, what's something that women think about daily or like every week or something like what's the equivalent to the Roman Empire? We're all like being kidnapped or being murdered. Like that's our like we think about that just as often.
True crime podcast.
True crime.
Yeah, true crime.
Taylor
pretty
Swift.
Much. Yeah.
Get a shot of those vans.
There's a lot of product placement for them in there.
How do you get away from the teacher?
We were having our Roman conversation.
Okay.
They talked, not for 8 hours, but they talked it out, and yeah,
cool.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was going to take so long to talk about. Is that just a big thing of pepperoni?
Heck yeah, she was making a pepperoni pizza over there.
Oh, he's so cute. Go out with him.
What a nice bucket of pepperoni you got here, Stacy.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to actually say something as he looked at it.
Okay, and that was Fast Times at Ridgemont High. What did you both think?
I really thought it was wild, like, because Breakfast Club did like a bottle thing, but to bottle this whole movie in a classroom, specifically about the Roman Empire, bonkers that they were able to do a whole movie, 2.5 hours of just these 30 kids learning about the Roman Empire and how they built the aqueducts and invented concrete and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know why we've been doing this for 4 years and I don't expect Brian to do this every time.
I was like, where's he going with this one? I
that
don't know.
He starts
I had no idea where that one was headed. Good job.
No, he did good, and I'm proud of you for that. That was definitely good.
I liked it. I had a blast. It was problematic for sure. It's an early 80s movie. There was a lot in there that is like not great.
Yeah.
But it was that like aside from those parts that didn't quite feel so good, it was a feel good film of like just growing up, and it was like fast paced and had good soundtrack. So it was fun. And the parts that weren't great were like mostly harmless enough to like make fun of. They were done in like a, I don't know, soft enough way that they were, you could kind of make fun of them, and that was kind of fun watching it too, but it was pleasant.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I had a good time. It was good. Definitely I can see why it's like a classic high school movie. Yeah, and then definitely if you were growing up during that time and saw it during that time, it's like the movie that you remember probably watching when you were in high school and go back and rewatch for sure. Yeah.
I remember seeing this the first time as probably like in the last 10, 15 years, but I was an adult when I saw it. I didn't see it when I was a teenager, and I'd only watched it one other time. And then I watched it, with both of you today. And I honestly thought there was a more threaded storyline. It was very light. There was no, and this is a shitty way of saying, like, I don't want, like, I'm going to say this, and it's not really true, but the way it was brought, the stakes didn't seem high. Even though, listen, I'm gonna I'm talking from my perspective. Yes, there was somebody who needed help and was getting an abortion. Yes, the stakes are high, but even the way they talked about it was like, and it's just something I can do. It was easy, and I'm just bummed out I have to do it. Like, that's the stakes.
The most difficult challenge during that was getting a ride.
Yeah. And like Spicoli almost failing his class, but just had to talk to the teacher for a little bit. And it's not disappointing in any way. It's just I'm so used to these movies of coming of age where everyone, even if the stakes aren't high, like, where do I go to college? It's weighing on them all so much. And this was like really not like at all. It was really, it was weird for me to see it. Cause like I do like the movie. It's a great movie, and it's sort of a blueprint for a lot of the movies that came out of that high school wise, where we see these different crews and we get the perspectives of different people. And it's like usually an ensemble. Spicoli is literally the glue between everybody in the movie. And so
I thought he was going to be more of the main character.
Yeah, but they're really like, Stacy's pretty much the main character if there is a Stacy, and why can't I think of Mark are kind of like the main-ish characters, but it is still an ensemble. I mean, everyone gets their time to do it, but it's everybody is kind of knows Spicoli. Like everyone goes around. He just
Spicoli. Shows up everywhere.
Yes.
Not even on purpose. He's just there.
Yeah, right.
It's interesting because they wouldn't make that today.
Not that
ensemble
way.
Cast where there's no thread. I feel like ever since like Love Actually or whatever, like if you're going to do a movie that has all of these separate storylines, they gotta connect at the end. That's like the thing to do.
But like even look at all these other high school movies from the 90s and stuff. The other things that were on our list, they all deal with these different ensembles, groups. May not be huge name people back then, like they weren't here, but like they did feel more connected and more at stake. Like the guy likes the girl and it's his one shot, and like there's all these like things like that come through.
Wait, did we miss the person that you said was gonna pop up? Were we talking about the Roman Empire during that?
No, you're talking about the weird cameo?
Yeah.
The really famous person, weird cameo. Yeah. I don't even think they had a line. I always thought they had a line in the movie, but they just looked up from the counter and looked down really quick at one point.
I missed it.
Oh, Brian, it was Nicolas Cage.
Okay, I thought it was Nicolas Cage. I don't remember. I thought I saw someone in a crowd at one point too that I was like, was that Nick Cage?
Maybe he was also in a crowd, but so when it was going up, the very second to last credit before it went to black on credits was Nicholas Coppola. So I wasn't sure if you were going to notice that or not, but yeah, Nick Cage was in it. I actually have an interesting fact about that. So Nick Cage originally lied about his age in this to get a bigger part and get more lines, and the producers eventually found out that he was only 17, not 18. So rules about working and labor laws were in effect, and they cut his lines down and cut his part significantly.
Got it. Yeah, I didn't even notice him.
Yeah, literally 1 second. He literally just like popped up for a quick second there. Another interesting thing, Sean Penn was really young in this movie. He was younger. I mean, everybody was in their 20s for the most part in this movie, and everyone looked like they were at least in their
30.
20s. But Sean Penn has always been a method actor. So he literally forced everyone on set to call him Spicoli, and wouldn't answer to his actual name. And other actors on set made fun of him behind his back, calling him Sean De Niro, because of how intense he was during the process. It even said that at the end of the movie, when they pull up to the dance and their car opens up and it just smoke billows out of it. They said that like he insisted on actually smoking pot in there with everybody. Like he was Spicoli.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think I had mentioned to you, about this. So while undercover, Cameron Crowe became friends with a student named Andy Rothbone, and that's who Mark Ratner is. And as an adult, Rothbone actually was a successful writer and went on to do dozens of these computer books, including the For Dummies was the series. It was For Dummies.
My parents definitely had one of those, and I wish I could remember which one, because it was probably like Windows.
Yeah, but
Windows 90 or something.
Yeah. But it's just funny too, because now the For Dummies and the Idiot's Guides to encompass everything. There's it's not just, but it originally was computers. It was all
probably
for
a
computers.
millionaire.
Oh yeah, definitely. So an interesting thing about this movie, which almost kind of comes full circle to how things go today in a sense, this was literally given, the plan was to give this movie a limited release with minimal advertising, like almost no marketing budget to it. And it was actually slated to just be dropped on cable. Or like, think about today, like a movie's made for streaming for the most part, right?
I could see that.
And Heckerling, the director, said that Universal really didn't have much faith in the film. However, when they did that minimal release, it made half of its budget back, which it was only $5 million budget. But in its opening weekend, it made $2.5 million, which is big, for such a small thing on the first weekend. So Universal gave it a full scale release. The word of mouth spread on the movie, and it ended up making like $27 million domestically alone, which is pretty decent. I mean, it definitely made its money back. And the popularity of Fast Times really hasn't wavered much. In the year 2000, the American Film Institute named it the 87th out of 100 best comedy of all time. Bravo, I don't know if Bravo still exists. I think it still does, but Bravo also put it as the 15th on its list of top comedies, and Entertainment Weekly called it the second best high school movie ever made. I don't know what the first one is. The channel, Bravo.
You don't know if Bravo still exists?
Yeah, does it?
That's what all the Real Housewives are on. That's what Vanderpump Rules is on.
No.
It's my favorite channel.
I did not know that was still a thing. I do have one other fact here, which I remember this, and I don't know if you remember this, maybe not this exact thing, but back in 2020, a lot of people were trying to figure out ways to raise money for COVID relief, and there were a lot of table reads.
Yeah,
there was a great community one. There was a Parks and Rec did a like comeback episode where it was like it was an episode, but they were all quarantined, so it was in different locations, and like everyone came back. Well, in 2020 for COVID relief, Sean Penn's co-founded charity CORE actually did a table read of this, and Sean Penn just basically sat in as like not really the narrator, but he just sat in with it, and it was completely recast, and Jennifer Aniston played Linda.
Okay.
Brad Pitt played Brad. So Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt were together on this.
Okay.
And they had like a moment. It was really like people were like, ooh. Julia Roberts played Stacy. Matthew McConaughey played Mike. Dane Cook played Mark.
Okay.
Andy was the host.
Yeah.
Yep. Shia LaBeouf played Spicoli and stole the show.
I remember seeing clips of this now that you're talking about it. Yeah.
He came out in character, like wearing sunglasses, was flying. Everyone was like dying laughing. He did so good. I remember watching that. And then Henry Golding from Crazy Rich Asians. Henry Golding played Mr. Vargas, the creepy teacher.
Yeah.
John Legend was Charles Jefferson, and Little Charles Jefferson. Ray Liotta played Mr. Hand. And then they had let Jimmy Kimmel play some of the teenage girls and other random parts.
That's great.
Providing all the non-dialogue parts was Morgan Freeman as the narrator.
Perfect.
So 4 million views online at that point, and it made over $135,000 for charities that were responding for COVID-19. So really like wild, but you could just watch it. You could just go on YouTube and watch it, and it's phenomenal.
I have it pulled up, and it's like a Zoom call, and they're all like, they're clearly all like introducing everybody, and Shia LaBeouf is not even facing the camera. He's got sunglasses on, and he's smoking with his shirt off.
I love that.
I mean, talk about like the fucking legend, man. Whatever you think about Shia LaBeouf,
I love him.
Dude was great in this. Yeah. So,
I'm glad he makes a comeback. I feel like I haven't seen him in anything in a while.
He's had a rough go of it,
went off
but
the rails.
Yeah,
years. But like,
if I remember correctly, and now I'm gonna check this out while we're talking here, but I think he co-starred in a movie a year or two ago that he wasn't the big name on it. I mean, like he didn't get the recognition. Shia.
What's the movie where he's like
Holes.
on house arrest?
No, I'm kidding.
No, I know that. With the neighbor, it's kind of like a scary movie.
Disturbia.
I love that movie.
It's so good. Yeah,
that's one of like my favorite random movies that I love.
He was in a movie in 2020 called Pieces of a Woman. And this movie had pardon one second. No, it's in the Target bag that's on the table. So he's in this movie Pieces of a Woman, and Vanessa Kirby, which you guys have probably seen, especially if you've seen any of the I mean, maybe not, but she was in a few of the last Mission Impossible movies. She was in
She looks familiar.
She does, yeah. She's gonna be in the Napoleon movie with Joaquin Phoenix that's coming out later this year. Okay. But she was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actress for it, but Shia LaBeouf plays her boyfriend, or I don't think they're married, but the story itself is literally like a worst nightmare scenario. It's like a woman, she's pregnant, she's ready to have the baby, she has her birth plan, she has her midwife, and the baby starts to come, and the person that she trusts the most, the midwife, to be there is not available, and then something happens with that birth and it puts her in a spiral, and it's a really rough story. Vanessa Kirby is amazing, but Shia LaBeouf, like, he picks and chooses stuff. Like he's in a movie that came out this year or last year. He was in a movie, and he's got 3 current upcoming projects. He's actually going to be in Francis Ford Coppola's huge movie that he's making right now, Megalopolis. That's the name, Megalopolis.
Okay.
Which that is with Adam Driver, Aubrey Plaza, Forrest Whitaker, Shia LaBeouf, Jason Schwartzman, Natalie, Natalie Amelia, Dustin Hoffman, John Voight, Lawrence Fishburne, DB Sweeney. There's a lot of names. Chloe Fineman from SNL. Tons of names in this random movie that's coming out. But anyway, so yeah, I want Shia to have like a comeback.
He's a really good actor. He really is.
Yeah, and he got shit on a lot, and you know, especially with the Transformers movies and stuff like that. But like Holes, man, he was so good in that, and like Disturbia, he was great in. So long live Shia LaBeouf. I hope he comes back.
We got so sidetracked on Shia LaBeouf.
I know that and the Roman Empire. Shia LaBeouf needs to be in a movie about the Roman Empire.
Right.
But let me back up here to our guesses and let's see how we did. All right. So where and when does this movie take place? Right. And you both said it was present date of the release of the movie, West Coast surfers, long hair, Pasadena feel. And you're very, very accurate on that. There is no date given, but it's approximately 79 to 82.
Yeah. Okay.
Somewhere in that. So beginning in the fall of 79, 22-year-old Cameron Crowe, who already has several years of experience as a writer for Rolling Stone and Cream magazine, spent a year undercover at Claremont High School in San Diego.
How old was he when he did this? Do you know that?
How old was he when he
went undercover?
22.
Okay.
But if you remember, he really did look very young for his age. That's why, you know. So, yes, 22. San Diego is where that was. So it was definitely, you're very good on that. We said who was in this, and we had no guesses. Laura was confident she knew who was in it, but really just couldn't put her name on it. And that was Sean Penn, was Spicoli. Jennifer Jason Leigh was, now I feel bad, I can't remember her name. Was it Stacy? Yes,
Stacy. Yeah.
Judge Reinhold, Brad, Phoebe Cates was Laura. No, not Laura. Was it Laura? Linda. Thanks. Linda, Forrest Whitaker, Eric Stoltz, Nick Cage, Anthony Edwards randomly was in it too, and I don't remember seeing Anthony Edwards, but he was apparently in it too.
Who's he?
I don't know. I got his name on the list, so he was probably the other stoner friend.
I looked him up because he looked familiar to me. He was the other stoner friend. He's
Anthony Edwards. I mean, mainly from from ER.
Yeah, he's also in Zodiac.
Yep.
I think he's like on some Law and Order episodes.
Probably.
He's in a lot of things.
So, bogus. The word bogus would be said. I don't recall. I don't think it was. Gnarly was said, but you were still in the right vein of certain dialect that was going to be said. We would see a woven hemp hoodie. You nailed that.
Yep.
I can't believe that. That was so funny.
Drugs are implied, not seen. And then Laura said, no, yes, we will. And I got to give it to both of you. Literally,
we
drugs
came very
were
close to not seeing them.
Yeah. So very, very close. We are going to get a zoom in on a high school. It's busy, chaotic, shoved in the locker, head in a toilet, that sort of stuff. I'm going to give you that. Some of the details were very, very descriptive that we didn't see, but your main overarching description of the chaotic scene and like coming back, toilet paper strewn all over the place, pushed, inappropriate signs being put on people's backs, books falling, lockers having to be perfect magic touch to open, all this chaos. Yeah, totally.
I have to go back to say that Anthony Edwards, he was on ER for 10 plus years.
Yes.
That's where I knew him from. Yeah.
Yo. So what is the movie about? Similar vibes to Dazed and Confused. Drugs, alcohol.
There wasn't as much alcohol.
Not as much. We didn't see a lot of it at all. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Only when we saw his bong, there was like some beer bottles, but that was really it.
But that's it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of partying. End of the school year, probably. Fast Times is the school paper, and the kids are writing a piece about what people are up to, trying to infiltrate the experiences they would not do because they're nerds. It's going to be on the East Coast, but a West Coast guy, this is the other guess, with uptight kids, and he shows them how to let loose.
No, instead we had the guy
point for that.
We got the guy from Brooklyn going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what you got to do, okay?
He was trying to fit in and be cool. Yeah.
Yes. So who is Jeff Spicoli in the story? He's the head editor of the Fast Times paper or the senior football captain.
I really thought it was going to be Sean Penn, but I was like, there's no way that that's too easy of a guess, but shouldn't second guess
Spicoli,
myself.
obviously our lovable stoner, who's the central character of the story.
Biggest name for the surfer dude. Spicoli doesn't seem like it fits the
No.
It's the bill.
What was the biggest random star you might see? Johnny Depp or Danny DeVito all could have fit in there. It was Nick Cage, and like I said, he literally just would. I saw him once go like this, and like look up and then look down.
I totally missed that.
Nick Cage is the right in between of Danny DeVito.
Yeah, and Johnny Depp. Yeah,
it's right in the middle.
What was the brand, the non-food brand that actually was put on the map? The non-food brand, we said Adidas or Converse. We did see Converse,
close,
but it was Vans sneakers. They were not well known, and after this movie, it really did put them on the map. They sold crazy.
Yeah.
I'm proud that we got that close. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Finish the famous line, awesome, totally blank. You both are so close. You said totally rad or totally bitchin', and it was totally awesome. Yeah. And then the last question was, the pool scene was very famous. What happens in this scene, and do we get to finish? Attractive woman at the pool, and people are ogling her and no finishing, or hot chick gets out of a pool, no finishing. Absolutely right. It was a sex fantasy, and no, unfortunately, Brad didn't finish.
I knew that's where it was going.
Yeah, I was going there. So it is time. We need to wheel out that doof meter. Feels like a long time. It hasn't been. It's been a while. Let's get. Oh, there it is. There it is. Perfect. It's a very, very tired doof meter today. And of course, with our doof meter, we have a 1 to 5 rating system where 1 is it's a movie, and 5 is a, my God, how have I not seen this in my life? What have I been doing? Who am I? And stuff like that. All right.
I'm going to do what we've been doing, and I'm going to write it down, and we're going to see if Brian and I are on the same page here.
Same page.
All right. I'm locked in. It's got like a little waiter notepad.
I know, right? All right.
Take your order.
Yep. Okay. Excellent. So Brian did some extra squiggles to throw us off. Laura, you went first. I would like to hear what you are going with first.
All right. I am going with, should we both say our numbers and then I'll give an explanation after, see if we're both right. Or not right, but I gave it at 4, which you can't see.
Oh,
there you go.
I have it at a 3.
Ooh,
we broke you two apart for the first time. Okay. I mean, you went like 12 straight of the exact same, so it was bound to happen.
I kind of had a feeling it would on this one. I don't know why.
Okay. So thoughts.
So I went into this thinking that it would be a 5, just because it seems like it's such a
fair,
iconic, popular movie. I don't feel like I needed to have seen it, and I think part of it is because the big iconic scenes I did know, and as I was watching it, I'm like, I think I definitely did see this, or I've seen a lot of it from other things. But like you said, Drew, there wasn't this huge storyline that I felt like I could have just gone along knowing what I already knew about it, kind of. Yeah. And that would be good enough. But it was fun. I had a good time watching it. I probably would put it on again, and it was funny. I definitely think it's probably like a cult classic kind of movie if you grew up watching it. So no hate to the movie at all, but
perfect.
That's what I got.
I love it. All right, Brian.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of in a similar boat. I think I was definitely overhyping the movie in my head just because it's one of those films that I really have heard that title so many times, and I knew that was probably going to be high up on lists of movies that we should have seen or something like that. So in my head I was really I'm expecting this to be high up, like a 4 or a 5. And just as we were watching it, I was just this is fun, and I always enjoy watching movies with you too, but it didn't it was definitely okay, I didn't need to have seen this. I didn't really get anything out of it. There was no not that a movie needs to have a moral or a point or anything, but there was no point, and there was no I didn't really get anything out of watching it that I would have gotten out of another 80s high school movie or something. I genuinely feel the Breakfast Club or the even Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Ferris Bueller's Day Off has a similar rompy feel, but feels like it makes a stronger point at the end of it or something. You feel you get more out of that as an experience. And then I was also thinking would I watch this again? I probably wouldn't. I don't need to see it again. I get it. I got it.
Yeah.
I had fun with it. There's nothing wrong with the movie aside from the very specific parts that were wrong, homophobia and stuff like that. But it definitely, it's just, and I didn't see too much in there that I didn't know anyone who was in this. I had no idea what the plot was. I wasn't even close. Although I do think I like my movie better. I think I could write a good 1980s
I was thinking
movie
about that. We were trying to figure out what the plot could be and throwing guesses out there. We could have just said there is no plot, and that would have been correct because there really wasn't any.
Just surviving high school is
exactly. It was a cool insight. I think maybe I would appreciate it more if I read Cameron's book or something. But it was a fine movie. It was a lot of fun to watch, but I personally don't think I needed to have seen this, and there wasn't anything in it that I was oh, that's that thing that I've seen parodied, I guess, except for the swimming pool scene.
But you have seen that scene parodied,
for sure. That's probably the one scene, and
it's the most famous scene from the movie. It literally is.
Okay. I can definitely see if you were in high school or even college age when that came out and watched it, that would probably have the same feelings towards that movie as I have towards Clueless or Can't Hardly Wait, and in all reality, those movies are the plots are pretty kind of silly in those, but because I have that nostalgia for them because I watched them when you were around that age of the characters, it probably means a lot more to you.
Right.
Yeah.
The nostalgia hits harder too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's also probably a disadvantage for these films for me specifically. Who, didn't have a normal high school experience or school experience in general, but so it's the topics that some of these movies cover are like not always super nostalgic for me specifically, regardless of like era. Cause like, I don't know, it was a very 80s film, but a lot of the stuff that happens in here that like kids do is similar across generations.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
I was just a goody two shoes and didn't have weed until I was an adult. So,
well, I will also tell you that I am no tears for me on your ratings. I'm totally with you on them as well this time around. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm glad that we at least had a good time watching it.
I'm so glad I watched it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I've seen it now.
Yeah. I think even when stuff scores low, I've felt a lot less guilty about it because I'm like, well, I did it. Like that's
exactly.
I mean, it's literally the point of what we do, but it's also like it is a movie that I've been told to see and has ended up on lists. So I'm like, I'm glad I got that out of the way, and now I know I just don't need to watch it again.
Yeah. Right. All right. Well, thank you both. We can get that doof meter. We can have it struggle its way out if we can here. Okay, there we go.
That was pretty sad.
Oh, poor Doofy.
That was probably really loud. Sorry.
It's okay. And before we go, do we want to try 6 degrees?
Ooh,
the last time we did one, I failed miserably. So I am ready for redemption, hopefully.
Okay. You go ahead, Laura.
Okay. I'm going with Diane Keaton.
Diane Keaton. Jesus.
She's in a ton of movies.
I know. I'm just trying to think.
Okay. The name I'm bringing to you, specifically because of Gladiator, is Joaquin Phoenix.
Diane Keaton to Joaquin Phoenix. Okay, I will start the timer now.
I should have never mentioned anything about the Roman Empire.
The rest of our podcast.
That's all Brian's going to think about tonight now.
It's
like, I'm going to go watch
Joaquin
The Gladiator.
Phoenix. Okay, Diane Keaton to Joaquin Phoenix. Shite.
Wait, The Gladiator is the Roman Empire, right? I don't even know if that's the
same. Yeah. I mean, it's Rome. All right. So Joaquin Phoenix.
Sorry, I'm distracting you.
Yeah. Right. Just So let's see. Diane Keaton.
While he's thinking about that, I've been looking at that tricycle behind him the entire time.
Oh yeah, my kid's little tricycle.
And I just want you to take it out and ride it. That's all I've been thinking.
Joaquin Phoenix has been in so much
Which
stuff.
three are you thinking of?
Godfather, Something's Gotta Give, and Annie Hall.
I only know like newer ones: Father of the Bride, First Wives Club. But I don't know that those would help you because I said so.
I like how you said newer ones.
Well, newer 20 years ago.
Fathers of the Bride?
Is that like a 90s movie? Oh my god.
30-something years ago?
Compared to The Godfather.
Yeah, but
and Annie Hall.
Something's Gotta Give was at least in the 2000s.
Oh my god.
So
way to make me feel old.
Sorry. Something's Gotta Give had. This was where I was trying to go with it. I'll tell you.
Because that's what's his name?
Jack Nicholson is in.
Yeah.
But she ends up dating Keanu Reeves in it as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, maybe I can go that Keanu route. And then I was like, wait, what the hell has Keanu Reeves been in? And I was like, oh shit, man. So I was trying to figure out like. Then I was trying to work
she was
backwards.
In The Godfather, by the way. That's
yeah, she's married to Al Pacino in The Godfather.
Oh, the Family Stone might get you somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. At this point, at this point it's moot, but I'm still just trying.
Brian, what do we got?
Hold on. No, give me one more second. Just give me a second. I just want to.
I've got a few that are going to make you mad.
Yeah, I'm sure.
She's in Look Who's Talking Now, the one where the dogs talk.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Wait. She's in Look Who's Talking Now.
Wait. There's a third one where the dogs talk. Does that help you?
No.
Oh.
No.
You're just shocked.
No, I'm just thinking. I'm literally trying to piece
and Danny
together.
DeVito's and one of the dogs.
That's amazing. Okay, so it's Joaquin Phoenix to Robert De Niro in Joker, Robert De Niro, Diane Keaton in Godfather Part 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
That took 5 minutes. What else did you have?
Some of these are pretty obscure. So Joaquin Phoenix was in a movie with John Travolta called Ladder 49.
Yes.
Oh, I love
who
that
is in
movie.
What Are You Talking Now? Joaquin Phoenix was in Her with Olivia Wilde, who was in a movie called Love the Coopers, which is kind of an obscure, it looks like an obscure like rom-com. Again, Joaquin Phoenix was in a movie called The Yards, which was like a weird, it looks like a 2000
football? No, yards.
I think it's like Loading Yards. Like I think it's a mafia type thing.
Oh, maybe.
Which he was in with James Caan, who is in
The Godfather. Yeah.
You got the Joker one, which was the one that I thought would get you mad. And then there was Joaquin Phoenix was in Parenthood with Keanu Reeves.
That's right.
Who was in Something's Gotta Give.
Yep.
That's a good movie.
Steve Martin's in that, right?
Yeah.
Man, we're just getting all over the place.
Ladder 49 is a very good movie. If you want a good cry, it's a good cry movie.
I think I've actually seen it. It seems like one that my parents would have rented.
I don't know why it was it was kind of a random movie when it came out. I don't know why I watched it, but
what was Ladder 49?
Firefighters.
Was it a 9/11 one?
No.
No, it was a random. Okay, I'm thinking World Trade Center.
Though,
but it was in 2004. So when I saw like Ladder 49 2004, I was like, that's got to be a 9/11 movie.
Yeah.
There was a huge influx of 9/11 movies.
Well, also like
years.
a bunch. Yeah, that they did. They were like, it's been like 3 years. Is that a good enough time to wait to make a movie? You're like, probably not. Respectfully, no. Maybe we should wait a little longer. Nah.
People are still sad, huh? We could make them sadder.
Let's get Nick Cage in Tower Number 1. Like, no, we're no World Trade Center. And then they also, the same year, there were 2 9/11 movies that came out in the same year. 2 big ones. There was World Trade Center, and then there was fucking United 93.
I remember that, yeah.
That one was wild, man.
And we talked about one on the podcast, right, where it was like a romantic movie, but then we found out that the guy works
Remember Me, I think, with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Pattinson? Yeah. Wow. I don't know where I am
How
today.
far away from having an alt history movie about 9/11 where Mark Wahlberg defeats the terrorists are we?
I mean...
self-produced, self-funded movie.
I love that it's Mark Wahlberg because that is perfect.
It sounds about right.
He's also the person
He's got like
a
thickest Boston accent ever.
Didn't he say he would? He would.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh man, if only I was on that plane, I would have stopped him." That's a cool vibe, Mark.
Yeah.
No way, he actually said that.
Yeah, no, he did. He did. Yeah.
Lord.
And with that, we'll sign off for the night. That was
if you think you could
no, stop that talk now. Thank you. Please edit that out. Okay.
Drew hates when we both laugh that hard at dark shit.
I enjoy laughing that hard at dark shit, but if you've ever gotten a swirly in a high school bathroom, please head to reeldoofs.com.
Thank you.
Where you can find links to our social medias, whatever you're listening to us on right now.
Please also tell me that I'm not crazy, that people have gotten their ass cheeks glued together, that's a thing that happens. That was in the Breakfast Club. I think they talked about that in the Breakfast Club.
That's what isn't that what happened to
to the guy, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not crazy. Okay.
Anthony Michael Hall, that's his name. Yes. And that's why he brought the flare gun to school.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's where I'm getting it from. Okay. Sorry I interrupted. Brian.
If you've ever had your ass glued to a toilet seat, please head to reeldoofs.com. Find whatever social media is more convenient for you. We're at Reel Doofs on most of them. Shoot us a message. The best thing you could do is leave us a review of that gluing to the butt seat on any of the apps that you're listening to this on. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, because it does help us a lot to know that you are actively listening continuously.
And we get it if the message says, my friend had his ass cheeks glued. We get it.
We know what that means.
Yes. Amazing. Well, thank you both. That was a wonderful night. It got dark in the end, but we recovered. So
yep.
I think with that, I think we are going to sign out.
Awesome.